Still scoring like Mo Salah, but you won't see me on the wing. Oh, that's your girl I didn't know, brother. She was really trying to get it in. She was trying to give me blows, whoa, I didn't even say a thing. I don't force girls, I get girl force. Shorty blowing like the wind. Still winning, man, I can't lose. Had to hit him with a part two. Pretty girls, let me touch it. You got no touch, Lukaku. I finesse it, ain't hard to. I just R1 and then R2. I can run through if I want to. Like a through ball, I just pass through.
So let's get straight into where we left off last week. Champions League final. So when we left off, it was semi-final time. Bayern and PSG both got through it relatively easily against Leipzig and Lyon. Then final came along. I think everyone expecting high scoring affair. Bayern took it 1-0. Jack, we'll start with you. What did you make of it?
I thought, not unlucky, but PSG had some very good chances before Bayern even scored. I thought some of the chances as well. It's not like they were hard chances. They should have been 1-2, maybe even 3 up before even Bayern got their first goal. So it was a good final. It wasn't the goals that everyone expected, only 1-0, but it was a decent final.
What do you think? Were you expecting, like Jack said, PSG could have been 2-3 ahead? Do you expect them to be a bit more clinical?
Yeah, I think the chance that relates to me the most is that Mbappe chance. I think that went around on Twitter a lot. You'd expect him to score that. He's a world-class player. Any other world-class player, or even maybe not world-class, and they'll still finish that. It was a big chance. I think the final, like the pressure of it, I think not even just PSG Bayern, it just looked like quite a nervy final, which you expect a lot, even though they're like 2 of the best in the world, you expect it. But yeah, PSG, they should have taken their chances, and then once they had them chances, they sat back a bit and allowed more pressure from Bayern. And as soon as Bayern got that goal, they just had to come out a bit more. And I think it was a little bit too late. And I didn't like the changes the PSG manager made either to try and change the game a bit. But I think he brought on Choupo-Moting instead of Icardi, who you've just signed. I'm not the biggest fan of Icardi, but Choupo-Moting, like, what's he going to do, to be honest?
Yeah, I agree with you there. I was surprised. Like, fair enough, he might have scored like the winning goal against Atlanta, but when he got a card in the bench, I think he takes priority. Then we saw when Choupo-Moting missed that late chance, like he tried to flick it outside of his boot, but he just completely missed it. Jack, do you think there's a bit of, I don't know what the word is, just lack of tactical awareness from Thomas Tuchel? Because from what I saw, Alphonso Davies was a bit, I think he was a weaker point than we expected in the first half. He grabbed a yellow card as well. And Di Maria was definitely a good presence in that PSG attack. He was doing well. Do you think they should have attacked down that Davies side a lot more in the second half?
Yeah, I would have, at half time, you'd been like, look, just for like 10 minutes to see how he copes. Di Maria and Mbappe just switch sides.
Yeah.
We all know Davies quick, but Mbappe will test him. If he gets a target, he falls over. That's a second yellow. So I think, like you said, a bit of tactical naivety in a way. He thought, we have the better play, or not the better players, but our attack's just really good. We'll go and score at some point, but that never happened. So I think he should have switched them into a round. Maybe not the whole half, but like the first 10 minutes, just to see how it would have went. But clearly he didn't.
Yeah, and then the other tactical thing good to you, Tom, was Marquinhos at CDM. We talked about it last time, like, is this PSG too good for Liga and not good enough for Champions League? We saw Thiago like control the play for Bayern with Kimmich helping out in that deeper role. Is that what PSG like? Because Marquinhos is obviously a centre-back and not a holding midfielder. So is that somewhere they need to just improve on?
Yeah, I mean, they've always had variety, but then he's such a big injury, like, prone of a player. You just can't rely on him to be that. I would expect them to bring some because they've brought in players in that position, but not the greatest quality. Like I was very surprised they went in for Ander Herrera. You know, he's not the worst player in the world, but they need a better player, and they brought Paredes. I don't think he's good enough. Sarabia, he's getting on now, and he ain't the greatest. I feel like they spend too much on their attack, and then they're trying. It's obviously they can't keep spending big, so they've got to like spend little in the other areas, and it will catch up with you because their defense is getting old now. I mean, they're about to lose their captain. And they're going to have to replace him now. They might have to sell one of the big ones, to be honest, unless they do have the money. They are a rich club, but how much can you spend? I think the midfield and the defence just needs like mixed. It just needs changing now, getting some fresh legs in there.
Yeah, but then we do have to talk about Bayern. I think first ever team to win the Champions League and win like every single game throughout the season in it. I mean, that Joshua Kimmich pass for the goal, I thought was unbelievable. Like, he just took his time, placed it perfect for Koeman. So my question is, like I said, first team to like win all the games. What is this Bayern treble winning side, now you can call it, a rank among the best Champions League teams that we've seen?
Well, it's hard to say because we're only at 18, and we can only really say off our
Off
our own experience. I mean, there have been some good teams. I wouldn't say it's one of the best, but it's a good team. Because the only reason why I'd say that is because I think that this ain't the first time Bayern have won it, and I would say the previous time where Bayern did win it was a better team than now. That they have the one with Ribery and Robin, even though they're still a very good team now, that is probably their best in my eyes. But then there's other teams as well, so I wouldn't say it's the best, but it's a very good team.
Yeah, just so pretty much what Tom said. Quality team. I just don't think, like you said, they won all their games, but again, they're like 2013. I think it was 13 when they beat Dortmund at Wembley. Yeah, that was a quality team. And if you ask me which one's better, definitely the 2013 team. So up there, just not quite the best.
Yeah, and then of course the other European final, Sevilla vs Inter. Inter got off to a great start. Lukaku winning the penalty, scoring it. And out of nowhere, Luke de Jong, he's only scored in the semi-final finals of the competition.
Yeah.
Scored 2 great headers, put them in front. Then Godin scored again. And then second half was the big one. Lukaku threw on goal. We talked about last week when United were missing their chances. We were like, is Lukaku the one that won that position? He missed it, and then Sevilla punished him for it. What do you guys think? Are Sevilla just due in that competition, or is it down to that Inter just not having that cup final experience in the team?
It's a cup final. It's two big teams in it. It's a football game at the end of the day. Unless the teams are so far apart, you got to make, when it's like two teams that are very good and it's hard to separate, you just got to take your chances because you know you're going to be in for a game. It could have gone another way another night, so I wouldn't say it's lack of experience because they're a massive team. They got good experienced players in there as well. So is Seville. They're known for winning Europa League, but just think on another day it would have been it was a good final. I was quite surprised Luke de Jong done well because I was surprised he was actually starting, to be honest, because he hasn't had a great season with Seville. He's just joined them. He hasn't had a great season, and he gets put in the final, which was brilliant management by their manager. So yeah.
So I don't feel as bad now as we could say we lost to the winner, so it's fine.
Yes, that's exactly what I said to Bayern.
Yeah, the final, when Inter, I didn't think Inter was going to win, and especially when they scored their first goal, I was like, this is it now. I know it was early, but I just didn't see Sevilla coming back.
Yeah.
But fair play to them, they were brilliant through the game. I thought the game in general was so scrappy. I thought there was so many fouls. I don't think it was up. I don't think most of them weren't fouls, but the referee I thought was awful.
Yeah, I thought
But
about the Champions League final as well.
yeah, I just think, but yeah, like Sevilla, something about the Europa League, man. They step up, step up.
Yeah. And Flair played to the manager as well, love it, Cheggy. I mean, we all know what happened to him just before the World Cup. Didn't have the best time with Real Madrid, and he's come back and he's done this with Sevilla, so fair enough to him. We'll move on from Champions League. Well, we'll go to Barcelona. So obviously, this season 8-2 lost to Bayern Munich. Last season, they bottled a 3-0 lead to Liverpool. Then the season before that, Roma just surprised everyone. And I think Barca had a 4-1 lead in that game and bottled it.
Yeah.
So obviously, the trophy everyone wants is the Champions League more than anything else. It's the pinnacle of club football. And Messi, arguably one of the best ever in football, hasn't won in 3 years. He made a promise at the start, like every season now it seems like that they're going to bring it home and they haven't done it. And now, I believe it was yesterday, he officially put in a transfer request to leave Barcelona. So here's like the logistics of it. So his contract is at the end, before, like at the end of the season, pretty much. That's when you can get him for free. After that end of season period and the next one starts, his release clause is active again, which is at 700 million. So obviously a lot of money. So what his agents right now are debating is because Corona obviously delayed the season, when does that end of season period change to? Is it specifically like June every single time, or is it the end of season like it is now, which is what they're trying to figure out. Then late last night, it was said that Messi has chosen Man City as his next club. He's worked with Pep Guardiola before, he's good friends with Aguero. What do you guys just make of this whole scenario with Messi and Barcelona?
Well, when I saw that, I was like, surely that can't be true. But then more information came out, and I was just like, I did not expect that. I knew that there was like little rumors 2 years ago that he wanted to leave, but nothing really came of it. So I thought it was going to be one of them, but it looks like he is leaving, and I thought he would stay there, retire. To be honest, I still think he might stay there. But if he goes to Man City, then God help everyone else in the Premier League.
Yeah, literally. The greatest player I've ever watched play football live in a stadium is unbelievable, and I've seen him and Ronaldo, and he has more of an impact than Ronaldo, and that's saying something, you know. The thing that I can't get around is how our team's going to pay it for him, because it's not just the fee. What people think is just the free. The fee is not the problem. I mean,
Yeah,
it will be a lot of money. That is a problem in itself. It's the wages, though. That could mess up your wage structure completely. What chairman out there is willing to take this is a risk? As much as you know he's the best player in the world, right? How old is he? He's like 33,
33.
coming to 30.
Yeah.
So he's going to be 34. Okay, if he makes the move, you're looking at a 34-year-old player. It's just, what team out there, to be honest, I would only say Man City. I would normally say PSG, but they won't afford Neymar, Mbappe, and Messi. And that's exact same as Juventus. It is impossible, in my eyes, for Juventus and PSG to be able to sign him, even though they've got a lot of money, because Juventus, I think it would be impossible for them to pay for Messi and Ronaldo, and same with PSG. So the only side I could see it being is Man City, but even then, I feel like I still can't see it happening because of the money.
Yeah, I mean, I think it has been said that Juve aren't going for him probably because of that financial issue. And I think Bayern have pulled out as well. I don't think they never can out PSG just because of how rich their owners really are.
Yeah, but no.
Yeah, it just seems like they haven't been in it as much as Man City have. Even Man United has been in with a shout. I'm not sure if that will settle
I
because they
can't
can't
see
get
Man
Sancho
United
done.
either.
But I mean, this guy's been hit. Like he's been since he was a kid. 2 decades he's been at Barcelona. Even though things are going wrong for them, you didn't see him leaving. But then now the problems at the top, the president, he's not a favorite, shall we say? That is like protests going outside the stadium as we speak. Probably there's some last night as well. If Messi leaves Barcelona, I mean, Koeman's in there now. He's trying to bring in a few more younger players, but where does that leave them? Do you think they'll still be the same team that we've seen in the last few years, but over our lifetime? Or are they going to drop off like Inter Milan, AC Milan?
They got to spend. For one, straight away, with Messi aside, say he stays, they're still in trouble, right? He is the only man that he's so good. Trust me, he's just so good, and the fact that he is so good makes people think they're still this amazing team when they had Xavi, Iniesta, in their prime.
Yeah.
But I mean, they got Griezmann. He's done nothing, and so even if they do keep him, they've still got to go and replace their whole defence basically because it's old. The midfield's getting old. I know they got De Jong. They just sold Arthur. Like I said in the last one, I don't know why. But if they get rid of Messi, you got to think about, first of all, replacing him. Now, how do you replace Messi? The only way they can do that is they have to go for someone like Neymar or Mbappe, something like that. Which is going to cost them a lot of money. I just think they're going to be in a sticky situation. This is a rebuild. They got a rebuild basically, and it's going to take a while because Barcelona standards are so high. They ain't going to sell because how long have they had in the Messi era and Xavi? They were on top. I mean, on top of their league and a lot of. And that's what they want the standards to be. So it's going to be a long rebuild, I think.
It also looks like Suarez is leaving as well.
Yeah, he's going.
So that's another player. Yeah, I mean, I don't know who it was, a manager or someone.
He needs to go though, because he's just getting on, and it's affecting him as much as it don't affect Messi and Ronaldo. It's just starting to affect Suarez, so that's the point. I think it's the right time for Suarez to leave. I think this is, but they still have to replace him as well. That's another one.
I mean, since it's Koeman, there's been like every single Dutch player pretty much linked with them, Depay, them, and De Beek.
Yeah.
But I was going to say, yeah. So back to Messi. Say if he joined Man City, I mean, every fan who doesn't like Messi and thinks Ronaldo's better says, "Oh, he can't do the English Premier League because it's too physical for him." But if anything, he's proved that in the Champions League by battering pretty much all of us. So if he does join City, is that instant Premier League done?
Well,
what, City winning it?
Yeah.
You said, I do believe he probably can do it, but you say like, people say he can't do it in the Premier League, but in the Champions League he does it against the English teams. Those are the better English teams. Can he do it against Tarkowski or Burnley? Can he do it again against Lewis Dunk of Brighton? Them big. So I still think he can.
Teams.
Yeah, like Burnley, Brighton, Aston Villa. Just someone that goes. We might not outplay the opposition, but we're gonna fight. Proper dog style game. Whether he can handle that, I don't know. It's definitely going to be fine in, but if he did sign for City with the player they already have, that's.
I mean, I think I've been saying that I think they're going to win the league anyway. But if they get him, it's done. He is done. I'm sorry. I mean, it don't really affect me because I'm a Tottenham fan, so we ain't going to get anywhere near it. So I'd rather them win it than Liverpool. So I don't mind. I wouldn't mind him coming to the Prem as much as I dread watching City anyway, but I think it'd be interesting Messi in the Prem. I think a lot of people would want to see it. I mean, Liverpool fans won't, and Chelsea and Man United because they're going to try and chance it. Yeah, I mean, it's Messi. I don't think it'll be a problem for him as much as he will learn that Burnley and Sheffield United and all the other teams like the Premier League, you got to take it seriously, and I think he will. And to be honest, I think teams will just come up against him and be shit scared of him. I'm sure they sit back against Barcelona a lot in the league anyway, so he's probably used to it. And he weaves in and out of players with ease. Like, he's class. He can do it in any league.
Yeah, like you said, like, I think if you can always choose like a big top six side for him to join WBC, because I mean, I think it's fair to say Liverpool and United have a bigger rivalry than United and City do still. Then
Yeah.
none of the London clubs really care about City because they're just a new team, really. If you want to say that. But yeah, I guess we'll get more on that in the next few days. Next real thing that happened, according to the timeline, is Harry Maguire. So I'll explain what happened. So he's gone off to holiday in Greece. So what's been reported by his lawyers is 2 men have injected something into Harry Maguire's sister, and she like passed out or something. Then I'm not sure if they reported that to the police or police turned up, but there's been some physical, what's the word? There's been some physical, I don't know what the word is, but there's been some violence. Violence. Harry Maguire acquired leg injuries, and they've said that one of the person who battered him said, "Oh, I'm going to kick your leg and I'm going to end your whole career," basically. Then Maguire's reportedly fought back, trying to protect himself. Then I believe the police have said Maguire attempted bribery, saying, "Oh, I'm captain of Manchester United. Oh, I'm rich. I can pay you off, whatever. Leave us alone," something like that. But so he was originally charged with 3 things: attempted bribery, assault of an officer, and there was one more I can't remember. But then this morning they appealed it. His appeal has been accepted, so there's going to be a retrial at their court. Greek authorities have a bit of a reputation for just not being very good, taking a lot of bribes. Jack, we'll start with you. Is Manchester United captain? What did you just make of this whole situation?
Well, this is probably the thing everyone expects me to say is we don't know the facts. We can't really talk about it. But of what you said and what's being reported, especially after the more information came out, is what any person would do, not even just football. If someone's hurting your family, injecting a sister with something and causing her to faint, you're going to step in, whether you're a role model for football or you're just an ordinary bloke. I don't. You can't say anything bad about that. The thing about the bribery and that, I don't know him personally, but people that know him have said everyone that knows him, he wouldn't do that. And I just feel like watching him in his interviews, I just don't think he would be the person to be like, "Do you know who I am? I'm the captain of Manchester United. I have lots of money. Let us go and I'll pay you." Maybe he did. I don't know, but he just doesn't seem the person to do that. And the thing with the assault, and I think he's, like you said, he's like protected himself. He's fought back because an officer kept kicking him in the leg. But like you said today, his appeal has been accepted. So right now, he has no criminal record and he's back innocent until proven guilty. So I just think I know at the moment there was a report saying Man United have no interest, but like at the moment they're not looking to strip him of captaincy. But if it turns out, then I think he's got to lose the captain's armband.
Yeah, I mean, he's already been dropped from the England side for the reason international, which I think is fair, just what's going on. But yeah, like you said, like a lot of his former teammates, I think I saw Alex Bruce, his former Hull teammates, say, "Oh, this is something Maguire would never do." I don't think not any footballer, but most footballers do it as say, "Oh, I'm captain of Manchester United. If you keep hitting me, I'm gonna have you fired from your job." Maybe he might have said it out of, maybe it's pure panic because of what happened to his sister. "Oh, I'm captain of Manchester United. I can help pay you off. Just leave us alone." Maybe. I'm not sure. Maybe we'll find out in the future. But Tom, what do you think will be hard for him? Because he will return to United probably for the start of the season. Do you think it'll be hard for him to just play with that like hanging over his head, knowing that one mistake and that's the first thing all the newspapers will pick up on? the court's still in his head, what happened in Greece is still in his head.
Yeah, I mean, even if you're a strong character, which I don't think he is, I think he's as much as he's like a leader, I feel like Jack said, he's not that type of person anyway. So I think it'll affect him even more. But even if you are like quite a tough nut, this is probably the most challenging thing he's probably ever gone through. To be honest, I mean, just got a biggest career move of his life a year ago. Once you get that, and you're at Man United as captain, you're going to be in the spotlight, and when something bad like this happens, it's going to be hanging around him for a while because he's going to get abuse from people and I know social media, maybe in person, and I don't think that's fair because you don't know the facts, you don't know what actually went wrong or what happened, so it probably will affect him at the start. It just depends how long. I mean, once the trial's all done, as long as if he's proven not guilty as soon as possible, then I reckon it'll be all right. But if he's proven guilty still, it could be quite a problem mentally for him for a while. I think.
Yeah, I mean, Jack, you talk about him so far not being stripped of captaincy. Well, first of all, do you think he should be? And second of all, do you think, as a United fan, you want to see him start the season with all this going on, possibly like affecting his play?
Yeah, to be fair, even if he hasn't done it and he's found innocent, maybe it might be good just to be like, take the captaincy off you. That's less light on you. He's got a lot of like, not scrutiny on him because he's been Man United captain. He's made a few mistakes.
Yeah.
I don't think if he was the captain, he wouldn't get as much spotlight on him. So maybe United just might think, you know what, we'll take this captaincy off him, find out he's innocent, and then just play out from there. Because if he might be innocent, but then he still might be captain, and like you said, it might affect him mentally. And as you might not have found, I don't want him going into the new season where at the moment we're already struggling, not playing at 100%, especially in the Premier League, he's going to get found out. So I just hope for Man United sake they think about it and maybe take the captaincy off him.
I mean, yeah, I think they said the court, because they've moved up to a higher level now, was going to take more weeks and months rather than days like the last one did. Because, yeah, like I said, Greek authorities aren't the best, shall we say, without saying it too much. But we'll go on to the England side now. So Maguire has been dropped. It was named yesterday, and personally for me, Southgate has just confused me. So
yeah.
The first thing was there's no left back, which
that's one that confused me.
Worrying. Like, I'm not sure why there's no left back, but there isn't one. And then there's just like a few players which I just can't get my head around why they're in the squad. Like Michael Keane's in the squad. Like, I've not seen this guy do anything good since he was at Burnley. So why is he there? Eric Dyer, I'm not sure why he's in there. Tam Abraham. Like, for me, England call-up should be based on form, like Danny Ings, should we say. So like Tam Abraham, like why is he there? Like it doesn't make sense to me. Maybe I'm a bit biased, but I think like Bukayo Saka deserves a call-up, even if it is a left back, just to have one in the squad.
That's why.
So what do you guys just make of Southgate's picks?
Nah, I was the exact same as you. I straight away, I think I looked through that whole list about 5 times just to check that I wasn't like going nuts. That I just couldn't believe there weren't one left back. I'm so confused to what he's thinking. 3 at the back, but then are you gonna play a winger like on the left side? I honestly do not know what he's planning on doing. Trying to think if there's the only thing I could think of was Tyrone Mings because he's left-footed and he has played left back before in his career, but I just can't think why he hasn't done that. Why he's done that at all? Like Chilwell, like you'd think Chilwell would straight away be in that squad.
Chilwell and Shaw, which aren't in, are injured, which is why them two aren't in.
Oh, right.
So
Maybe that's
you
the
could
reason
go,
then. But then,
but you could go Ryan Bertrand,
yeah,
just
you
And
could have
throw
gone
Rosie even.
Saka.
that. Yeah, Saka, Danny Rose, Ryan Bertrand. Like what? Who doesn't have a
Yeah,
left back?
I don't know. Honestly, don't know what he's thinking, to be
Now
honest.
Maguire's out, he might think about that. I might go. He gets called one more in, doesn't he? If he wants
Yeah.
to, so he might think, you know what? I'll give Saka a try. I'll give someone else a try. But yeah, like you two, no left back in the squad. I'm confused on what he's doing.
I'm not.
Like,
The other ones you said, I think Michael Keane, I think is crap. Eric Dyer, I saw that coming. I saw it coming because when the restart happened, he was straight in. I thought he played well. The only mistake he made was the Pogba penalty, but every game he was solid. And then he got that suspension thing. But then for the last game, he got put back in replacement for Sanchez, even though Sanchez was playing well as well. So I'm not surprised Dyer got in. I was expecting that, but
But was
yeah,
Dyer not playing at centre back for you guys?
yeah. So that's
Yeah.
he ain't he Mourinho's converted him back to a centre back. He's not a holding
Yeah.
midfielder no more. He's a centre back. So I would expect he is going to be a centre back for England. But yeah, I'm always judging his decisions with. So I've never liked Michael Keane. But that left back thing is just confused me so much.
did any of you
Yeah.
see where Eric Dyer was placed? Was he in the defender bit or the midfield bit?
I think he's the midfield bit, is he not?
No, I'm not sure. The only thing,
I can't remember.
if he's in the midfield bit, he could be dropped down to the defenders bit, and then Southgate could be like, he could add another midfielder in. But
Yeah,
it
but
depends what he does.
I mean,
yeah, I
why would
guess
you play Dyer in midfield when he's not playing there for Tottenham? I don't think that's
but like
smart at all.
he's caught up with Keane, Maguire, Mings. I think it was one more centre back, wasn't there?
I think
Not
that was
too sure.
it.
Oh,
Declan
maybe.
Rice,
But
but
Declan Rice,
he's
yeah. So him and Dyer, like
Declan.
both
So
CDM centre
yeah,
halves.
he's versatile.
So that'll be interesting. But yeah, we saw Southgate do this with Mike Keane last time as well. He wasn't performing too well at Everton, but he got the call up when we played Kosovo the first time at Southampton, and he made a mistake in that game. But it's interesting because World Cup he called up Delph and Dyer, which I think all the fans were a bit hesitant about, especially Delph, because you rarely, at that time, you rarely saw him play.
Yeah.
And we saw the same problems a bit with Roy Hodgson with team selection. So I'd like no disrespect to Iceland and Norway, who I believe are playing on the Nations League, but say his team selections stay the same, like he base it more on the loyalty to, not loyalty, but the players he normally picks, like staying loyal to them rather than the ones that are performing. Euros comes around next year, like what would you expect him to stay with? Like say Keane has an average season, Tammy Abraham, if he actually plays with a Werner, has an average season. Well, then say, I don't know, some random English striker, say Bamford, for example, scores 25 league goals along with Ings and all these guys. Like, what are you expecting him to pick now? Is like based on form or just his loyalties?
Bit
I
of
think it'll
both.
be because like you said earlier, Ings, but Ings has been selected, and that's
Yeah,
on form. So so he is, and the thing you go back to Tammy Abraham, I'm surprised to see him, and especially I'm surprised not to see Calvert Lewin.
yeah,
I thought he would be the one ahead of Tammy Abraham, especially being at Everton. But like you said, yeah, I think Tom's right. I think it'll be a mixture of both. I think he'll go with the majority of his. I know how they play. I know what they can give me. There'll be
yeah.
a few be like, he's had a good season. I'll pick him. I think he can do a job. So I think it'll be a mixture.
Yeah, I think it's important to have a mixture because first of all, you want them to be in form. You want confidence in that team. But say if all the players that were in that team weren't in form and then others were that weren't in that team, you can't just put them all in because it's just going to be a new team who haven't been there, who haven't done the style play, this is a build up to that. We're preparing for Euros. No one really. I mean, we would like to win the Nations League, but no one really cares. We're basically preparing ourselves for Euros, so you don't really want to change it up too much because, I mean, the players are there to prepare for it. So if you bring in too many new ones who haven't been there to prepare for it, it's going to be a bit sloppy at times, I reckon.
And it's also, you don't get many games for England. So I think the reason he picks the same bunch is because everyone plays together. Like, they're always the same people. So you might get Keane, you might not think, but the past, I don't know, maybe 5 England call-ups, he's been called up. You can kind of see the pattern. He likes to be, he's not thinking, okay, I'm going to bring him in and get him out and then he's going to bring a new person to the squad. He has to integrate to the squad. I just feel like Southgate has the main people that he likes his team around.
Yeah.
And like, England don't play a lot of games again, so he wants the same squad. He's not going to keep changing and chopping, trying to find the right team when like there's the Euros coming next year. So I think it will be probably the same team throughout the year.
Yeah, I think the thing that pissed me off actually through this whole team selection, I think is baffling, is how Grealish is not in that selection.
Yeah.
Especially with Maddison being injured and him not being able to be there, you'd think, all right, it'll be out of him and Maddison because they're both good players. Because I'd expect Maddison to probably be in there as well. I don't know how Grealish, what the fuck is Ward-Prowse doing in that team?
No.
Seriously.
I'd back Ward-Prowse because him and Southampton had a very good end to the season.
All right, Winks. Why is he in there? I'm a Tottenham fan as well. Like, look, as much as Ward-Prowse might have had a good season, are you telling me you'd have him over Grealish? No, you wouldn't.
I mean, like, that's what I was saying, like Tammy Abraham. We got Harry Kane, Ings, like Rashford, if you say you want to play top as well.
Yeah, exactly. Why don't you get another number in midfield instead of having too many strikers?
Yeah.
No, the reason, I don't know if you probably haven't seen it then. The reason he hasn't included Grealish because Southgate doesn't see Grealish as a midfielder.
What do you think as a winger?
A winger. The reason he said Grealish hasn't been picked is because of Mason Greenwood. That's what he said after revealing it. He said the reason I haven't picked Mason Greenwood is because I think that he's challenging with the likes of Mason Greenwood, which is why he hasn't been picked this time.
I think that's stupid because he plays so deep. What a winger plays deep. That he plays so deep. He literally does. He does everything for Villa. He's literally the creative person. He's not just on the left wing. He's literally everywhere. He's not a left winger.
At Villa, he's not going to be everywhere in the England team, is he? He's going to have one position to play.
No, I'm not saying that. Yep.
Right, so the other point with Grealish is, so he was in contention to start the Nations League, and that's pretty much the same point last season when he got promoted with Villa. So, and Southgate's point for not including him in that time was he hasn't got enough Premier League experience. He's only been in the Championship, really. This time around, he's included Calvin Phillips. No Premier League experience. Fair play to him, he's done well with Leeds, but that was a bit of a controversial point because Grealish has, let's be honest, not single-handedly, but he's done about 90% of the work for Villa this season.
Yeah, literally.
So, what do you guys make of that from Southgate? Like, it's just hypocritical, really. Calvin Phillips has only been in the Championship this season. The exact same thing Grealish just left out for last season. So, like, what would you make of that from his point of view as a manager from him?
Maybe he doesn't like him as a person, like the stuff he gets up to outside of football. That's the only thing I can think of. Like he said, "Oh yeah, I'm not going to include him because he's only been a champion, no Premier League experience," and he's included a Championship or no Premier League, but a Championship player. I like. It must be something that he doesn't like about him. It's got to be. I can't see any other reason because he's had a brilliant season. He should be included, but he hasn't been. So he must not like him as he must not like the things he gets up to outside of football.
Oh yeah, but every player goes through that. I don't know what I feel about Southgate because when everyone was going on Southgate bandwagon. When we were in the World Cup, like he got us to the semis, and then I was like, I think we need to chill out a bit because I mean we had a pretty easy ride to get there, and we made it even hard for ourselves. Just even in the group stage games, even against Colombia, I would expect us because Colombia ain't great. They've got some names in there, but they're all like old names, like the Falcao. He's done. You know what I mean?
James is injured as well.
Yeah, exactly. So we took it to penalties. As much as it was great to win penalties, because we're sort of known as that country not to win penalties. It's quite a good feeling. But if you take into consideration how we should have got to the final, I just think I don't know how I feel about him, whether he's a good manager or not, because every time I see a team selection of his, I'm criticising it quite a bit. There's players I don't like in there. There's players that I would want in there. I think this is the biggest one yet for me, which I don't like because the left back it's just messed up in my mind. Like the Phillips that you just said, as much as I think he's a good player, I probably wouldn't mind Tottenham getting him if we didn't get Højbjerg because he's a good holding midfielder. He dictates the play a lot. But like you said, he said the same thing with Grealish and he's giving him a chance. The Grealish thing is such a big thing for me because it's annoying because I want us to go to the Euros with our best squad. I think Grealish, like in my eyes, Grealish has a spot in that three in midfield. And the fact he didn't even get selected in the squad is so worrying because that just makes me think if he ain't even getting selected for this, if he does get selected in the Euros, he's not even going to play. That's how I'm thinking it. I just don't understand why people think he's not a left winger. So this has actually worried me a bit for the Euros. Yeah.
Well, like you said, obviously well at the World Cup, got to semi-finals. But when we went down the semi-finals, the whole thing was from England fans, wait for the Euros when our players will develop more. And like now you've got Sancho as well now, that's when we'll win it. Say he doesn't follow up with another semi-final, or like, I mean, we all want to win, obviously it's France, Germany, but we still like consider ourselves up there with the team we have and the potential team we have, let's say. Say he gets knocked out in the group stage or even last 16, which is like where we were last time, and in the Euros, realistically, English should be getting further. Say this happens, do you give him another 2 years to the World Cup, prove like give him a chance, or is he just gone now?
He's gone. I think it'd be different because basically he got the job because at the time there weren't the greatest amount of like people to get right, and he'd done well with the youth, England youth. So we thought we'd give him a chance, and you know what? Fair enough. I thought he deserved to have a chance. But if you look at it, if he ain't gonna do nothing, normally we say like I don't know. Let's just say this for Jose Mourinho. If he was to have the England job, for an example, if he wants to do good, you'd probably say, oh, you know what, stick with him because he's got a reputation. He's done it all. You know, the thing is with Southgate, he hasn't had that great managerial experience where he's been successful. Like in the Prem, he weren't great. I remember he managed Middlesbrough, and I'm pretty sure they got relegated with him. Obviously, this was quite a while ago when we were really young. But what I'm saying is, if he doesn't do well, I think he's got to go because no one can really say, yeah, but we're missing out on this. In my eyes, there's better people out there. So if he doesn't do it, he's got to be replaced in my eyes.
Yeah. It depends how he does. You know, if it's group stage or round of 16, then he's got to be gone. But if we get to final and we lose to a better France side, a better Netherlands side, then I think we keep him on. But if he loses, like I know he wasn't the manager, but when we lost to Iceland in that game in the Euros 4 years ago, then something like that again, then he's got to go because especially what happened in the World Cup. But at the moment, he's doing well.
I see. I don't know. I think. How can you say he's doing well? I'm not saying he's not, but I'm just so undecided. I'm literally going off of. I want us to, in a way, I don't want us to get a good run, but then in my eyes, I sort of want us to play a good team. Do you know what I mean? I want us to be tested. Because if he's just going to be getting these crap teams and getting to the semis every year but not winning it, I actually want to win something. We with the team we've got. I mean, if we go back to that era with Gerrard and Lampard, how the fuck we didn't win nothing with that team is ridiculous. We probably got a team like that again. If you look at our attack is probably you could probably argue it is the best out there for the international. It's competing with France. You know, we've got a good midfield now. We ain't got the greatest defence and keeper, all right. Dean Henderson's coming up, but this is a good chance we got. And so I don't want it to just be wasted with a manager who possibly ain't the greatest. So I reckon he's got to get semis in my eyes.
Yeah, I think that's where I agree with Jack, because it is that tough thing. Like you said, we all want to face the better teams. We were saying that before the last World Cup. So give us these France and these friendlies, give us Germany's friendlies. But like I said with Southgate, you're not sure. I'm not sure about him, man. That's the thing that we can saying we can only play what's in front of us, and we keep getting these in the group stage, Czech Republic, or these I fair enough to be us that one time, then we smoked them after. Lithuania, Slovenia. I don't know how, but it seems like Germany and Netherlands always seem to be paired up against each other now. I'm not sure how that's working out. France, we get a harder group stage as well. But so that's my point is the Nations League was brought in to get rid of these friendlies and give us these harder games. But now we've ended up with Iceland and Norway in the next two games. And then you can again no disrespect to them, but they're not on our level.
How did we even get there? I swear we're meant to be in I swear it goes in groups. Last year we got Spain and
Iceland were
Croatia.
meant to be relegated as well because they finished bottom of their one. But I'm not sure how it worked out. But
I don't understand.
I don't know.
But like you said, we want to face France. No, go on, Jack.
I was only saying the reason I say he was doing well, you're forgetting that was his first tournament with England. You know, I know he's not had but he's still young. He's still a young manager. So that's the reason I'm saying I know we should have done better. We had Croatia. We should have won that. Looking at where we were in the match, but I just feel like he is doing well because that was his first major tournament. And we could say the players, they were good players. They're not as mature, they're not as developed as they will be now. So the Euro, especially with not easier teams, but we're not one of the favourites, but we're higher up now. We don't have all the other countries.
Yeah.
I feel like it has to be this is brilliant chance to win it. So like you said, semis, final, what I'm aiming for.
Yeah, and the last thing I want to talk about with this England call up is the timing of it. For me, it just made no sense.
Yeah.
Players are all just coming back to pre-season. We even have Community Shield on Saturday now. But between then and start of the season, pretty much for the top 6 sides, most of our players will be gone off. They won't be with the manager. They won't be training with each other, but instead they'll be the national team. What do you guys make of that? Surely they could have rearranged it for all leagues just to delay it a little bit. It's only Nations League, some qualifiers.
That's the problem. It's literally the Nations League. Is it that much of a big deal? Because the tournament ain't the greatest big of a deal. But the players going and playing there is a big deal for clubs. Coronavirus has really messed this whole thing up. This is a thing that we haven't been through or seen before. But when I heard that just before a couple of days before the start of the season, players are going to be in international. They won't even be able to prepare with a team. It's literally going to be potluck in them games. You just got to be on it and just you can't really strategize a plan, tactics. You just got to. But you're gonna have to. It's going to be I'm going to compare it to Sunday League in a way. Where you just got to work hard. You know what I mean? Because you don't know the other team really, do you? So you just got to play your football and just just work your socks off. I can only just see so many injuries for Tottenham. To be honest, I'm dreading it. I could just see Harry Kane get another ankle injury or something like that. That'd be typical. I don't understand it whatsoever, to be honest.
Yeah, it's stupid. I mean, it's stupid, but luckily with the Europa League, we have a week, like we start a week later.
Yeah.
So I know we don't have that many, but a few of our players will then have a week after to prepare for their first game in the Premier League. So, but yeah, in general, it's awful. Yeah, it's just awful. Like, a couple of days before the start of the new Premier League season, first game, you want to play an international. I say, but it's kind of a friendly against these teams, you know. And he's still going to play a strongest team. He never plays. I would say he doesn't play a weak team. He plays a weaker team sometimes, but it's always like Tom said. Kane.
He's going to be
always,
playing
because,
Kane
because
every
he's
fucking
captain,
game.
Because he's captain, he starts all the time. So as a Spurs fan, that would be worrying. But yeah, I think it's awful planning by the FA and that.
Yeah.
Anyway, for
We're going to see how that goes, but yeah, it just baffles me how we've just let that happen. Like, like other leagues will probably not be too happy with that as well, just because of the amount of games some teams have already played. They just want to get I think from our perspective, Arteta is like he's getting these guys back for the Liverpool game, and then just gone again. Like it doesn't make sense to me.
yeah,
Like I said, how the FA are letting this happen. Like even our youngsters are playing quarter play under 21 teams as well. You don't know what's going to happen with them there. Coming like comes to the injuries that could just happen. So we can again wait and see, but it's definitely not great from the FA from us. But move on to the transfers now. Been seeing a lot in the last week or so. When we start off with the big ones, Chelsea. Seems like they've just activated financial takeover on career mode. Got Chilwell today. I think it was 50 million fee in the end. After it was originally 80, but they've got down to 50. Kai Havertz is getting a lot closer now. I believe the teams have agreed a deal. I think it's 75 mil plus add-ons, which take it to 90. Thiago Silva's pretty much done now. Just agreed personal terms. Probably done in the next few and announced in the next few days. Like I said, they already got Werner Ziyech. They get Malang Sarr. They're signing him on a free because his contract ran out, but I believe they're going to loan him out.
yeah.
I mean, for what you guys just make, it's going to be a complete different side to last year, isn't it?
Mate, fair play to them. They're doing the business. You know, I'm here with Man United, hoping for one signing. They're getting 6. You know, fair play to them. I'm jealous. You know,
Yeah.
But it's just, I know they're not Aston Villa and that, but buying these many players doesn't mean success. You know, you got to make sure they work together. That's why buying one at a time to integrate, but 6 at a time into the squad they already have, that could cause a few problems, which I'm hoping for as a Man United fan. But fair play to them, they're doing the business at the moment.
Yeah, it's exciting. I remember when we sold Bale. I mean, we're a completely different team then because we weren't as great, and the signings we made, they weren't great other than Eriksen, you know, and they just didn't click well. Yeah, it was literally we signed so I remember we signed about 7 players, and literally I could only say one was successful at Tottenham, and that was literally Christian Eriksen. We still got one of them, Lamella. But you can't really say he's successful because he's in and out. He's injury prone. But that is exciting. I mean, especially now named the Havertz one. I mean, Werner, I think the Havertz one is so big that it just takes away the shadow of Werner because that is even big, you know, a bit of Havertz. But the only problem I think they're going to find is they're going to, with Havertz, I watch him play they're going to have 2 holding, but then I just feel like the balance in midfield, I'm interested to see how he works them because I feel like it's going to be a bit unbalanced. I've spoken to a lot of Chelsea fans and they say, Havertz is going to come back. I've seen Havertz play. He's literally like a Dele Alli, you know, a shadow striker. He's behind the striker. He don't he don't come back. He's not that player. Even if he did come back, what's he gonna do? He don't really. As much as he might put in a tackle here and there, he's like a Dele Alli basically. He's behind. He's right up against the striker. So that midfield is interesting to see, and also the Thiago Silva. As much as he's a good leader to bring in, he's going to be 36 coming to the Prem. I've always been a bit weird on Thiago Silva. I thought he was brilliant at AC. Then he went to PSG, had a good couple of years with that I liked, and then as he got older, you could see he was deteriorating like quite quick, and he was he's going from the Farmers League in a way to the hardest league in the world, as much as that might be biased, and he's going to be 36, so that's interesting. But yeah, good signings, I still think.
I know this is easy to say, like you can say it about anyone, but I can't remember if I said it on here on previous shows, but I wouldn't be surprised if, like, not the first game, but 10 games in, he pulls a hamstring. Going from
Thiago Silva?
Yeah. Just, you know what? Frank might do very well in him, and he might not play every game. He might play a game here, 2 games in a row, then have a break. But if he plays every game in a row to sort out the defence, I wouldn't be surprised if he pulls a hamstring. Going from that intensity in the League One to this intensity in the Premier League, he's going to have a shock to his system.
Remember, he's dictating the play in the Farmers League. The amount of running back he's going to have to do in the Prem, you know, he's going to have to be quick on his toes. That's what I'm saying. Like, even against teams like Burnley can attack you, and they're awkward to play against. Like, so I'm interested to see how he does. But yeah, all in all, if you're a Chelsea fan, you're excited. It's like a new beginning in a way. It's a restart. This is the restart. It's ready. That's what we need. I mean, we're starting to do it a little bit, but when you sell a player like when we sold Bale, it's basically what they've done. They've just sold Hazard. I know they couldn't spend it last year, but this is basically a 2 transfer windows worth of players. That's what it is.
Yeah. And Jack, you touched on it a bit there. Like Tom said, you're talking about signing players, got Højbjerg, a couple more probably incoming, even Arsenal signing few players. But Man United, like you've been linked with Sancho now. I feel like that's died down a lot, but like you said, it's a third-party deal, not you guys directly now. I think you were linked with a defender today from Ligue 1. Can't remember his name, but I think you were linked with one finally. But
yeah, Benoit, I'm going to say his second name, from Monaco.
Yeah.
Young defender.
Oh, Badiashile.
Yeah.
That's the one, yeah. So, I mean, usually we're used to United being linked with every name under the sun. You guys signing 4 or 5 players. I mean, how do you feel right now after last season's like team performances as well?
I'm proper nervous for this season, man. It's 2 weeks to the start of the season, but for us it's 3. But this is 2 weeks to the start of the Premier League season, and it doesn't look like we're buying anyone. Apparently, we made a bid for Sancho yesterday, or this morning, which was rejected because it was now they want all the money up front. But the apparent bid we did today, if we did that bid 5 weeks ago, that would have been accepted. But because we didn't want to pay it back then, this is the cycle with Man United. We ask what the fee is. They say a fee. We're not prepared to pay that week. 10 weeks later, all right, we'll pay it. We'll pay it right. We might as well just pay it then. That's the reason we're so bad negotiating, because we don't have anyone. We don't have any football people in the high up board. We only have bankers.
Well, at least you're willing to pay it.
I mean, at the moment we're not. I get that. I mean, like, we can say, yeah, we decided to pay it on Pogba. We decided to pay it on Lukaku. That didn't turn out that well. But yeah, we have paid it, but we're only doing one of those, and then we're selling some players as well. So it's not like we're spending that and spending, so we get money back. We never spend a lot. We always get money back from players we sell. And man, we need to get that Sancho deal. And that defender, he's a good defender, but I was just excited about we've made a bid for someone. You know, that excitement was like, oh yeah, but that bid was rejected, and they said they'll only sell it if they get like a Martial style bid like we did 5 years ago. I don't see United doing that if we're not buying this, if we're not paying the Sancho deal. So at the moment, I'm nervous.
Yeah, I mean, I guess the only good thing that came out today was Dean Henderson has signed a new 6-year deal with you guys, new long-term contract. So that must be promising. But then move on to Arsenal. Last week we talked about the redundancies, about staff being let go. We've signed Gabriel now. It looks like Aubameyang's contract should be announced anytime now. Just waiting on that.
Yeah, that's taken
Um,
ages.
Yeah, the party deal, I'm not too sure what's happening there. We're just still a bit like United, just not willing to pay the release clause. Middle now is bid from Wolves, 15 million, I believe, got rejected. So I think we just ask for more money there because he wants to leave for just first team football.
Wait, what did you say,
And
sorry?
then Maitland Niles, the bid from Wolves got
Oh,
rejected.
right, yeah.
Yeah. Then, just Party and Awa from Lyon, just the links there. But then, like I said, the redundancies last week, we've also hired Brentford's peace coach as well. Arteta just said, oh yeah, I like the way he sets it up. We signed him along, so I'm not sure how that really works with the financial aspect of the club from letting staff go. But like I said, I'm not sure what's going on right now.
Does that make you feel even like we touched on it last week, saying like you're ashamed or like about that, and especially now that you've signed Gabriel again, does that not make you feel even more like why we let them go if we can go and sign Gabriel for 30 million? You know, 30 million that would have been enough to cover those 55 staff for a year. You know.
Yeah, that's the thing. Like we signed Gabriel, who had a new coach. Like it doesn't make sense how we've let 55 people go. Like I'm still trying to wrap my head around it. And like at the time, like they was saying like, oh, Granit Xhaka was leading a group of players to like find out from the club, why has this happened? We asked the players took a pay cut. Because I remember that like start of lockdown-ish. But there's a lot of news around Mesut Ozil refusing to take it because he didn't know where the money was actually going from his pay cut. And now it seems like he's been proved right because where is that money going? If it's not going to help pay the staff, we've let 50 of them go. I mean, like, where is it gone? Like, so yeah,
maybe it's gone into buying players.
It doesn't make sense to me. Like, we're desperate for players. Don't get me wrong. Like, we can't finish that low again in the league. But we talked about last season. It's just that balance between like real life people, like I say real life people, like you know, I mean, like the jobs that they need to get on by a day-to-day basis compared to signing a new centre back for 30 million. You know,
The only thing I can think of is that you must be struggling for money. You must be.
But how can they spend 30 million on a centre back? You know,
I know. That's what I understand. But like Joe said, they have to sign players. So I
get that.
I reckon they must be. They're just. We obviously know the fact that Arsenal are bringing the amount that's coming in is less than what they're used to, right? We know that because you haven't been in the Champions League for a long time. Well, quite a few seasons. That makes a big impact. And obviously, the lower you get less money. But are you that low of money for you to do that? No, because you're Arsenal Football Club.
Yeah.
So that I was very surprised to see that, to be honest.
Yeah, I think as a fan, you just want a bit of clarity as to like what's going on because, like, when our scout Rouse and Leahy left last week, there's like a whole, just like not article, but like a response as to why this has happened, what's going on now. But we didn't really get that with the people who left their jobs. Like I said last week, billionaire owners, but where is this money going? Like I said, just want a bit of clarity, really. But I don't think we'll be getting that from this club anytime soon. Then we move on to Everton. So, a bit of an interesting one. We know they have money. They've been linked with Doucouré from Watford. Obviously, they've just been relegated, so they think his price tag would be as much as it would have been. I think that's a good signing. Going with Alan from Napoli. That seems to be going at a decent pace for them. Then, the interesting one that came up last night was James Rodriguez. So he's worked with Ancelotti at Real Madrid and Bayern Munich. He's 29 now. We know how good of a player he is from the World Cup. He Bayern, he was still pretty good. I mean, if Everton pull this off, not just Hammers, but all through with that midfield, what do you guys think for them next season?
Oh,
I mean,
I think they're all good players, and for even for Tottenham or any other team like that, I think if they got all of it, that James one, if they got him, I reckon that'd be a very good signing. Like, I wouldn't have expected him to gone. I think if James goes, I think he'll be a good move for him because he's a player like, I don't know, Bale, Isco, who need to get their careers back on track. They just need to forget about money a bit. Does football really mean that much to you, and just get it back on track? And I think that'd be a good move for James because it's clear that Ancelotti likes him. I'm not sure if Ancelotti brought him to Real Madrid. He might have. I can't remember the time who the manager was, but I think it actually might have been him, and he's had him at Bayern, so he obviously likes him. So I think it'll be a good move for Everton and for the player.
yeah, I thought, especially after coming in during the season, now we'll have a full season, like full pre-season and a full season with them. I think Everton, even with, I know that they don't have the best team, but I knew they were going to make a few additions, and James Rodriguez was one. I think they're going to have I think they're going to be like Wolves next season, so they're going to be higher up the table, pushing for 6, I think. And especially with that James Rodriguez deal, that's a brilliant signing for them. Yeah, you can
If
say
they
he's
get it through.
29. Yeah, if they get it through, or you can say he's 29 coming to the Prem, but he's still got a lot to give. Two, maybe 3 seasons out of him. That's a really good signing. So if that gets done with Decore and Alan coming in, they're gonna have a good season.
Yeah, like Tom
Yeah.
said, I think James will want to get his career back on track. He'll try that a little bit harder. If in the Premier he wants to prove himself. I think that's a great signing for Everton, especially the way Richarlison and Calvert-Lewin have been doing as well under Ancelotti. If we can get Alan and Decore just covering them as well, I think it could be a good season for them. Then on the Decore one, are you guys surprised that none of the big 6 went for him? Because I feel like Decore is a good player at Watford, score goals, track back. I mean, what do you guys think?
I didn't want him. I had a lot of my mates saying, why are Tottenham not going for him instead of Højbjerg? We've already got a player like him, and he's called Musa Sissoko. The thing I don't like about the Corey is he's brilliant physically, like Sissoko, but technically I don't think he's the best. And when you get to that top 4, you start to see it. Like, as much as Sissoko's a good player in the Prem, we need more. We need technical ability. You can't just run forward. See, so many times he will just run forward, get in a position. He don't know what to do. He won't shoot. I'm literally screaming at my TV, do not shoot. But then he won't shoot because he knows how shit he is when it comes to shooting. So he has to pass. No one wants a player like that, I'm not saying Decore is like that. Mentally, but I don't think he's great technically. So from Tottenham's behalf, I wouldn't want us to sign him.
Yeah, I think he's a good player, but he's not top 4 standard. I think he's mid-table, West Ham, Everton, someone like that. So especially Everton, I think it'll be a good signing for them.
Yeah.
But maybe if personally for Man United, if we didn't sign anyone, maybe I'd take him as a bench player.
Yeah, rotate like a squad player.
Yeah,
It'd be a
yeah,
squad player for us.
Yeah,
and I don't want
very.
that. I want an impact getting that team.
See the thing with, I know our midfield's already decent, so we're only looking at one position, but I would take him as a squad player if we didn't sign anyone else.
Yeah.
Most other players I'd choose before him, but if it was last resort, I'd take him. But I think for Everton, that's a very good signing.
Yeah.
Yeah. Then can't think of any others. I think Weston McKennie is going from Schalke to Juventus. So I think Pirlo's probably not going to go for Tonali now. Van den Beek is playing a couple of games for Ajax now in pre-season. I think I saw some couple of things with United today, but mainly to Barca due to that Koeman appointment. I'm not sure there's any others. I don't know if you guys can think
Tottenham
of
have
any.
one.
But
Tottenham are linked with. I mean, it looks like we're actually in talks actually, with Matt Doherty from Wolves.
Okay.
So, and the fee seems to be around. They want around maximum would be 20, but a lot of good journalists, and it even came from the Athletic, which is another good one, and our Tottenham journalists seem to think that it will be like a 15 million deal, maybe some add-ons, and we'll sign him, which I think 15 million for Matt Doherty is such a good signing, because I think I'd say he's like the second best wing back in the league. Obviously, you don't count Wan-Bissaka because he's not a wing back, but he has the second most created chances in the league after Trent, obviously. So I think it'd be a brilliant signing.
I saw you linked with someone today. Was that Spurs or was that another team as well?
What, linked with? What do you mean?
Because I saw Doherty's linked with someone today. Because I remember, like,
yeah, that was
the
us.
reason they wanted. Oh, right, that was you guys.
Yeah, that was us.
Oh, that makes sense then. Yeah, I think that's all for now then. Got Community Shield on Saturday, so we'll see how that goes. Because somebody's in quarantine after come back from holiday as well. So I don't know who's going to play in that game for us, but we'll wait and see. Then this time next week, probably just be more transfers, maybe some international games being played. Oh yeah, one more thing. So obviously Mbappe came up with the Farmers League tweet last week. Well, if anything, Celtic have proved they're part of the true Farmers League. I don't know who the fuck beat them today, but oh my gosh.
I don't know where, I can't remember what the country they're from, but they're 7th place in that league. And they lost to them. People think they'll do well in the Prem.
I'm gonna get relegated. I'm telling you.
Yeah, because Chris Sutton said that when Brendan left Celtic for Leicester, he's like, "Oh yeah, Celtic reserves a bigger club than Leicester, better team than Leicester."
Yeah, but he chats shit, don't he?
Brendan Rodgers, I think when he was at Celtic, said, "Oh, put Celtic in the Prem and we'll get top 4." These guys, like, no. I don't know what country they're from today, but getting beaten 2-1 is appalling for a team that consistently wins that league.
That is, I wouldn't even call it a Farmers League. That's Sunday League, mate.
And if they keep Edward as well now, I'll be very surprised.
Yeah, see, that is the only player in my eyes that can go to another team, and because he's got a good amount of potential. That is a player that I would actually like to have. I think that'd be a good sign for us back up, but then he could potentially in the future, because he's a good player. So I can't see him. I reckon he'll have this will be his last season, because he's a good player. He's got potential.
Yeah, when's Tottenham's qualifying game starting? Because surely that'll be soon as well.
So I think the game is either after the first game week or the second game week. It's in one of them. That's when we play it.
Yeah. All right. Yeah, so got good time towards that then. That's all for this, you guys. Have a nice.
Before I think it's time to talk. I think it's time we